Good morning, friends, and welcome to Gardening with Creekside. Today we are going to really start kind of day 3 here in the shade garden. Yes, I realize it is in full morning sun, but trust me, it is a shade garden. And so we are, like I said, day 3 today. The main goal is to transplant, move around the perennials that are already in this flower bed. But since we basically doubled the size of this flower bed, we need to spread them out, give them some room to get nice and happy, and to make room for new perennials that are going to be going in tomorrow. So if you missed it, we've already spent 2 days in this bed. One, Jerry and I put in some trees and some native shrubs. Then I came back in and put hydrangeas and butterfly bushes. So if you missed that, I will have that for you so you can check that out. Of course, this is part of the whole redesign of our front yard landscape. So it started in the front and it kind of wrapped around here to the side. So let's just kind of go over really quickly. Now, again, obviously, elephant in the room. It is in full sun right now. Remember, a shade garden is 4 hours or less of sun, and this is early morning sun. It will come over the house and it will go into the shade. So while things are getting sun, just remember that it is okay. What I'm concerned about mostly is the afternoon sun. This bed has doubled in size because we added the edging. Part of this used to be grass. So the closer you get to the driveway, the more sun it gets. And then the front corner up here with the electro blue and the butterfly bushes, that gets more sun as well. So what we're going to focus on today is coming in here and moving the perennials that are here that have been existing, but they need to get relocated. I had lots of hostas in here. We have already removed those. Those are going to be either going to another garden or they are going to be divided out, and we're just going to sell them at the nursery because these were non-branded, kind of those generic standard hostas. So what we're going to be doing is, I have got a pulmonaria super close to this hosta. So both of these are going to get dug up and moved. So we're going to talk about how do you dig up. If you want to divide these plants, how do you do that? Because now is the chance and the time of the year to do that. And then over here underneath the Aurelia Sun King. Now my Sun Kings, there's actually 2 of these nice chartreuse perennials. This is the time of year where they're literally shrinking. In the summertime, they are huge and mounded, but they're starting to go dormant. You can see underneath they've got some starting to get a little naked. So in the wintertime, completely gone. But in the summertime, like I said, they're massive. I have got a euchera, a brunnera, and a painted fern right here. All of those are going to come out and just get moved into other areas of the bed. One of my favorite, absolute favorite perennials in this bed is this massive Lenten rose, a hellebore. I mean, it is huge. It is close to 2.5 feet wide. So this one is going to come out as well, but we're also going to try to divide it. So we're going to split her up and then divide her out throughout this flower bed, because it's not going to make much sense to leave her there when I have my Kodiak orange Durvilla. That's going to get to be roughly 3 to 4 feet tall. So that's going to get hidden. Also, what we're going to do is I have got a total of 3 ghost ferns in this bed. These 2 that are here in front of my white by the gate camellia, I'm going to get them out because I want my camellia to just shine. They're not going far. They're going to go in a little bit of an arc right here, just to the right of the camellia. And then if time allows today, we're going to go ahead and place a unique stone Savannah urn in this general area. And then tomorrow we will plant it. So we've got to do that. And then here is my 3rd ghost fern. So that's going to get dug up and moved over as well. Lots of things going on in here. The sun, like I said, is bright. I need to go get my sun hat because even though it is going to be, close to the end of September, late September, it's toasty today. Today they're calling for 85. So, and it is sticky. So, that's September in the South. you have cool days and you have summer days here. So I think today is going to be a summer day. So I hope you stay tuned, because if you've ever wanted to transplant your plants, if you've ever wanted to divide things, this is going to be the video for you. And of course, giving you lots of inspiration on this this very unique and fun project. And then tomorrow, the next video we're going to wrap it up. We are going to add in some new plants. We're going to get everything buttoned up, and this project will be done in the next video. So let's get to going. Alrighty, my friends, so this is the plan. I have a loose plan. I do not have a very firm, hard plan on where all these perennials are going to go. So we're going to start with what I do know. What I do know is about these ghost ferns. So I have, like I said, the 2 ghost ferns beside my gorgeous white by the gate camellia. They're going to get dug up. They are going to go in a bit of a kind of a semicircle right here. So this one literally is just going to have to get moved, I don't know, maybe 18 inches towards me. Get this out of here so that the white by the gate can shine. And then the other one that I have, it is going to come over here as well. So we're going to start with that. I know that this euchera needs to be dug up because it's kind of in the way. It is going to be saved because that is Dale's strain, and Jerry started that euchera from seed years and years and years ago. So it has a little bit of sentimental value, and it is one of those eucheras, those rare eucheras that does really well in the ground. And so because it has that all that native blood, because we do have native eucheras here in North Carolina, it has that Velosa blood in it, so it is going to stay. I just don't know exactly where it's going to go. So I am going to take my shovel. This is one of those rare times that I am going to garden with a shovel. When you're going through and you are digging up a perennial, a shrub, a tree, whatever it is that you are digging, you want to get as much roots as you possibly can. So we're going to take our shovel and we're going to start, it's better to start further away than too close in. We're going to start further away and we're going to put our shovel in and we're going to lift it. Does the plant move? If it does, you're in a good spot. So then we're just going to work our way around that plant, lifting it as we go. If you take your shovel and you dig it in and you lift it up and all you get is soil and the plant doesn't move, go closer in. The key is let's get as much of the root system as we possibly can and move it. That helps reduce the transplant shock, and it greatly increases the survival of the plant. I know it's a crazy novel concept, but it actually is. So what we're gonna do first is, like I said, dig up the euchera, then we're gonna dig up those ferns. Of course, when I'm planting, I have my Jenny's Edition, the 9-inch auger, so we will make a nice, beautiful hole. I have my biotone fertilizer because that is for root growth. I have had so many people ask lately, should I use biotone in the fall? I don't wanna, start to stimulate too much top growth. Yes, people, always use biotone. It doesn't matter if it's spring, summer, fall, or winter. Use biotone. Biotone is called the starter fertilizer because it is specifically for strong, healthy roots. We always want strong, healthy roots. No matter what the season is, you want the strong, healthy roots. It is not going to promote foliage growth unless the plant gets really happy and it still is normal conditions. But we always use that biotone, so that is what I'm going to use today. So yeah, I'm just going to get digging, kind of moving, and this is one of those projects where I just have to kind of like place things, sit, look, come back, move it back and forth. That's the fun of gardening. All right, my friends, so we have been making great progress. We did stop and have lunch, and then look who came to join me. That's right, Mimi. Mighty Mimi is here. So let's talk about what Mimi is doing first, because she might get done before I talk about what we just did. So Mimi has volunteered to tackle the division of this hellebore. Mama gave me this hellebore, oh my gosh, at least probably 10 years ago, I would say. And it was like one of the very first plants to ever go in this flower bed, and it is phenomenal. If you're not familiar with Lenten roses, hellebores, so technically hellebore, common name Lenten rose. It is an evergreen perennial. It is deer resistant. It loves the shade. Once it is established, it is very well established, as you can see. It blooms in late winter, early spring, kind of around the season of Lent, hence its name. It is not a rose, but that is just what they call it. And they come in all colors, pinks, reds, deep purples, I mean, you name it, they come in the colors. And so they are phenomenal and they are gorgeous. So what Mama's trying to do is what we talked about, is you're working your way all around the plant and you're trying to uproot it. And I think that thing has roots to China, because Mama is having a hard time with it, and Mama knows how to divide hellebores because she does it all the time at her house. So we think that what's going to happen is that this is going to naturally split apart, that we're not going to have to divide it per se, because it is just going to kind of pull apart as she is working it back and forth. So I might get in there and help her if she needs help, or she's aggressive. She's a bulldog. She's going to get it. I can't imagine that it's just going to come up as...
Oh, he's got his tag!
Oh, good. I knew there was a tag in there somewhere. I want to say it's like pink frost or pink mahogany or mahogany splendor. Maybe. I think the top's in there too.
Pink frost.
Pink frost.
Here's the top.
There's the top. See, my friends? There you go. So this is like one of my absolute favorite perennials, and this is pink frost. And typically she'll start blooming, like this is an early bird. I mean, she's an overachiever. I've even had her bloom in November before. So Mama and I are going to sit here and tackle this thing, and then I'll meet you back here in a second. My friends, we are done for the day, and oh my goodness, Mimi and I are just beyond tickled pink with how well this bed has come together. Now, before we do the grand reveal for today's work, you're gonna have to use your gardener's mind eye of the future garden next spring. Not what it looks like right now at the very end of the summer, middle of September. Because if you look at it right now, you're gonna be like, oh my gosh. You gotta use your gardener's vision, okay? Excuse me, got some dust down my throat. All right, so here we go. Now, we had a beautiful collection of ferns all throughout here, the different perennials, everything. But like the ferns, case in point, they look terrible. So this is Godzilla. I'm pretty sure this is Godzilla. And you can see, I mean, y'all, is that just not pathetic? I mean, talking about having it rough. The foliage is broken, it's laying down, it looks awful. I don't care. What I care about is that beautiful, healthy root system that is in the ground with the biotone. Great fertilizer, has a nice compost around it. It is getting ready to go dormant anyway in about 4 to 6 weeks when we have a first freeze. So all of the ferns look terrible. Also, the Brunnera looks awful. I went ahead and cut back all of the really bad looking foliage. Again, I don't care because it's getting ready to go zapped and go dormant. The root system, again, massive on this thing. So very healthy there. And then like back here in the corner is the crested surf. This one will be upright Japanese painted fern. And it's kind of tucked in here a little bit with, you know, against the zebra hydrangea. It'll give me some height. This is Diamond Lake hosta, so it should be taller. Again, looks awful. It's laying down. All that foliage is just pathetic looking. Honestly, as soon as this video is over, more than likely what I'm going to do to all of my ferns is I'm going to go in there and I'm going to cut them to the ground. That way the plant is sending all of that energy into producing and getting those roots really well established instead of trying to keep the top foliage happy and healthy. So I'm probably just going to go ahead and whack them. It is not going to hurt the plant at all. In fact, it's going to help the plant. So we've got that going on. Same thing. I'm not gonna trim this one back, but this is the spot on pulmonaria. It was up underneath a different hosta, and so when I ripped it out, the little roots. So it's just in shock. She'll be fine. She's gonna bounce back. She has strong roots on her. She just looks rough right now. Got this hosta moved. We're going to go tomorrow's video. We're going to have a big, beautiful specimen hosta is going to go in this corner. So right now there is nothing there. We got Invincible Wee White. She is going to be tucked in here right next to the Fairy Trail Fresco. This only gets to be a 2x2. So this is a nice petite, hence its name Wee White, nice and little. So it'll be little. It is like an Annabella type hydrangea, so it blooms on new growth. It is color specific. It will be white, be lovely. Now, the hellebores. All of the hellebores, we took one of the pink frost, that giant pink frost that I had. And as we were dividing it, it broke up into 7 pieces. So I now have 7 really nice size pink frost hellebores in this bed, which I am absolutely excited about because I love that hellebore. It is always stunning. They are tough plants. We got good roots on them. So now I don't have just one pink frost, I have 7 in this bed. I wanted to add more hellebores in this bed anyway, but now I have 7 of the same kind, so it's going to bring uniformity to this bed because I was just going to grab, I have a whole collection left over that I need to get planted, so I was going to add them, but now having the same kind throughout the bed, oh my gosh, it's going to tie the bed all together. Again, they look awful. You can see they have it splayed open, but what's going to happen is all of this foliage, it was on its way to dying anyway, because when it starts to form those flowers, the buds come straight out of the center and are really tight and come up. So then all your old foliage lays down. That's when you go in and you clip it as close as you possibly can, get rid of this foliage. You have this mass of flowers right here, and then the foliage comes. So all is well. We dotted them throughout here. They can handle that morning sun that they're going to get right here. But like right now, it's 2:30 in the afternoon, and you can see how much this bed is completely in the shade. So back here, we have the Fronds Forever. That is the one of the newer ferns from Proven Winners. It's going to be a very upright, nice green. It has those same tassels as the crested surf, but has a lot more height to it. So it was absolutely getting smothered. It was on the other side of the Sun Kings. It was getting smothered. Again, not worried about it because next spring it's going to come back bigger and prettier than ever. And I'm going to tiptoe out of the bed here. So we have got so many ferns, y'all. So we've got crested surf, Godzilla, Fronds Forever. I went and collected my Dre's dagger. This had been in the bed, but we had to move it when they put in the little the edgers. So it was being healed in one of the compost piles. So she's back. It's here. And then of course we have all of our ghost ferns back here that are just lovely. So we've got tons of ferns in here. We also found, I knew it was there, but we had a volunteer. This is the holly fern. Brenna, come on, out. This is that Annette's holly fern where the mother plant is right here. We had some babies up against the wall. So what we did is we dug them up. We had 2 of them, put them together. So this will be a nice evergreen fern. And then we have the spider's web fatsia back here. So the fatsia is going to be a nice evergreen, tough perennial for me. I think it's like 3 to 4 feet tall and wide. And so then the spider's web is called that because it has that variegated foliage. And so this will be perfect because you have to kind of be careful with your fatsias in the wintertime. If you're not in a really warm zone, like a 9 or a 10, or yeah, I would say 9, 10, because the winter winds could burn it. So it could burn the foliage down. It'll come back, but it burns all the foliage down. So by having it kind of right beside the camellia, that camellia will help give it a break from any of those cold winds. So yes, so everything, more hellebores, as you can see them laying down. So we have those in here. Then of course we got the Savannah urn in. So tomorrow we will be planting this sweet baby. I will be using evergreen perennials for winter. And so that'll be really fun. But you can see like these Godzillas, these are ghost. I'm probably just gonna go ahead and cut them to the ground. Tomorrow when we mulch, before we mulch, I'm just gonna go ahead and cut them. And so that way again, they can get acclimated to their new home and be just fine. Then we have, we added Stormproof. So Stormproof is the new hydrangea from Proven Winners out this year. It is a beautiful, like another kind of that Annabelle type improved hydrangea, 3 to 4 feet tall. Pulled it forward. We did have a hydrangea there. It was not performing up to my standards. So we pulled it out and then brought Stormproof in and we moved it forward. And then we went ahead and added just a couple of clumps of the Solomon seal. We pulled them from here and just moved them over. So now we can have a nice whole hedge of the Solomon seal right there. A euchera that we had to move got planted here. And then of course the hellebores. So it is all coming together quite nicely. The bed has a cohesive feel now, and it feels like the plants can breathe. Obviously, it's going to take some time for all of my shrubs to really hit their stride. Generally speaking, as I always say, gardening teaches you patience, my friends. So remember, especially with your shrubs and even sometimes your perennials, the first year they sleep, the second year they creep, the third year they leap. So it's going to teach you patience, and this is where we have the fun of putting plants in different positions. Now also, y'all, I about broke the internet with Electra Blue. So we put out a like a short talking about planting it and using biotone. And I don't know if it was the camera angle or what, but the world about had a fit because they said I planted that thing way too close to the house. Now you can see right here, There's plenty of room. And at the end of the day, if there's a problem, whose problem is it? It's my problem, right? So anyway, I was just going to say, it wasn't any of you people, because you people understand and are sweet. But my gosh, people, I tell you, they're crazy. So anyway, my point is, if any of these plants are too happy and too vigorous, guess what we can do? We can move them, just like we did today. As I always say, if you're a gardener, you're a professional plant mover, because that's what you do. You're constantly moving plants. That is the joy of gardening. A garden is never, quote, completely finished. We're always tweaking, adding, subtracting, moving, whatever. So that is the joy of gardening. So if you see something in here and you're like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe that she planted that right there. That's going to get huge and blah, 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 blah. Just relax. It's okay. It's my problem to deal with, and we're just going to handle it. And as things grow and bloom and thrive, we will take care of them. It is not that big of a deal. It's gardening. So this has been so much fun to do. I cannot wait to be in here tomorrow. We have got some massive, beautiful hostas to add. We're going to take care of the Savannah urn. We're going to get it planted, and then we are going to get this baby mulched and put her to bed. We are going to be done with this bed tomorrow. So come back. The next video, I'm saying tomorrow, I'm filming it tomorrow. I think maybe it will go in order, so it should be tomorrow if you get to watch it. But yeah, then once everything is done, then we're gonna do a grand tour of the whole thing so you can see the whole project as one whole all together. All right, y'all, that's enough for one day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.